My sisters and brothers, may the Lord give you peace. Happy New Year. So I have a couple questions for you. First, what story do you go to? What story do you attach yourself to for life and for meaning? What story do you attach yourself to find meaning and to find who you are and what road to take? Without a story, where would we be spiritually and mentally health-wise? Now, at our baptism, the invitation was to be part of Jesus' story. And that's what the story offered to us, a story that began in a stable where God's very love was placed into our arms, poured right into our laps, poured into our hearts. Why? Because as St. Francis of Assisi said, the reason for Jesus' coming into the world was because God wanted to capture our affections. Isn't that wonderful? I love that line. To capture our affections. So at the very heart of the story is the great love that God has for us. God has for all people. Because as Pope Benedict said, each of us is the result of a thought of God. Listen to that again. Each of us is the result of a thought of God. Each of us is willed. Each of us is loved. Each of us is necessary. Today we come to that part of the Christmas story we call Epiphany and the Magi. And the Magi are the people seeking wisdom. And to seek wisdom, they did what is almost universally the truth in classic legends and fairy tales and stories. They had to leave home. There's not a single story of any wise person who becomes wise by staying in their own neighborhood. Never, never, never. If you don't know any black people, if you don't have a single black friend, I'm pretty sure your opinion on black people is not going to add all that much to the conversation. If you don't have a single gay friend, then don't tell me your opinion about gay people. I'm really not interested. You've got to leave home, and by home I mean yourself as the central reference point. And so where our motto, we hear it on the advertisement, don't leave home without it, the motto great spiritual teachers and storytellers tell us is, you have to leave home to find it, to go beyond our present comfort zone. For example, the young Buddha leaves the walls of the palace. St. Francis of Assisi goes on pilgrimage to the Muslim world. Queen Esther and Joan of Arc enter the world of battle to protect their people. And in that, their world is opened up and the light becomes brighter as they do themselves. In fact, that was always our thought throughout Advent, wasn't it? That we walk so closely to the light, we walk so deeply into the light, that we ourselves become light's journey into our dark world. And the darkness, of course, we hear about in that first reading today from the prophet Isaiah. What are we told? Dark clouds cover the people. And it's a world of darkness. And yet into this world of darkness, the brilliance of God shines forth. The darkness, of course, is the fact that the people are in exile. They have been pushed out of the place where they were comfortable and at home, into lands like immigrants and refugees. But now they're called back. And the return is a return first and foremost to their core identity. These are the people of the covenant. These are the people whose ancestors made a covenant with God in the desert. And it was a two-part covenant. On the one hand is our relationship with God. And on the other hand, about our relationship with one another. I'm sure you heard of the 10 Commandments. The first 3 is about our relationship with God. The last 7 about our relationship with each other. So it's how do we form a community of light? And the key is the return to living the covenant, to living in relationship with God and in relationship with one another. So much so that indeed other nations, on seeing this brightness, would say to us, what's happening among you is attractive to us. We want what you have. We want to be part of this because in your land, in your way of being, this covenant relationship you have with your God and with others, there is no homeless among you. There is no hungry among you. You care for the widow, the orphan, and the stranger. This is a privileged place, and we want to be part of this light. And this is expanded for us as we listen to St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians, because Paul's letter to the Ephesians at one point is going to say, you are strangers and aliens no longer. No, you are members of the household of God. You belong. In other words, in Jesus Christ, God has united the human family into one divine household, as the visit of the Magi has revealed to us in the gospel. However, people like Herod and his scribes have no such desire to leave home. Having a paranoid view of reality, they feared the possible as well as much as the impossible. And what's more, in their later massacre of the innocents, children 2 years of age and younger, they revealed their determination to prevent others from seeing any stars or finding any other deeper meaning to life. They revealed their determination to eradicate all visionaries and poets, and to repress any notion that life for us could be in any way a journey of the Magi, whereby we feel we too are following some star towards realms and experiences beyond words. James Taylor wrote a song, Home by Another Way, and he sings, those magic men, the Magi, some people call them wise or oriental, even kings. Well, anyway, those guys, they visited with Jesus. They sure enjoyed their stay. Then, warned in a dream of King Herod's scheme, they went home by another way. Yes, they went home by another way. Home by another way. Home by another way. Maybe you and me can be wise guys too and go home by another way. And so, my sisters and brothers, make sure, and I mean it, make sure this year that somehow, I don't just mean geographically, you leave home. Get out of your own little world where everybody is just like you and thinks just like you, and you only talk to people just like you. Because in that, we all just live conveniently with our prejudices about almost everybody else. This is making our world into a very unwise place, a scary and dangerous place as well, with everyone afraid of everybody else. The Magi learned their story was written in the stars, and the good news is, so is yours. And if yours, all peoples and nations. So, what story do you go to? What story do you attach yourself to for life and meaning? What story do you attach yourself to find out who you are and what road you should take?